is,
Quite the outfit. You should allow Brainiac to dress you.
Hey everybody, this is Iconic, coming to you with another DCUO video. So if you have clicked on this video, you want to know what I have for my battle tank build and what I've been using for a little bit now. And you're just curious and maybe you want to recreate it yourself. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So first of all, we have artifacts. I use Red Tornado because of the healing and the might buff. And it allows, it basically turns your attacks into healing. Even if it's 15% of your damage done adds you healing, it is still very important. Very big artifact for battle tanks. I use Razor's Power Battery. When it procs, the damage is insane. And it does do healing over time for you, sporadic healing over time, so a very big deal as well. I use Ebon for managing my power and for getting a consistent might buff. And it also gives me a damage mitigation shield after I cancel when I have it at max stack. So this is a very big deal. For Rage, Supercharge is king because your bread and butter is Berserk. So I run Gemini. Gemini in Tank Roll gives you Caster's Watch, which gives you health. Gives you healing back, increases your dominance, health, and restoration, and gives you Supercharge back. For, let's see, Caster's Watch. It gives you 1% supercharge every second because Berserk is a 5,000 cost, so you'll only get 1%, so that is 6% supercharge back with this. And then, of course, I run Scrap of the Soul Cloak. So this one is very big as well. Gives you 7% max supercharge after using a supercharge ability. This is very big. And then it also, the Soul Tap gives you supercharge generation by 27% and reduces your cooldown abilities of your supercharges by 22.5%. So very big thing. These two right here are going to be big for your supercharge. Rage is very power hungry, and using two loadouts is very power hungry. This will give you a might buff, a damage reduction shield, and power back. Very big deal. And then these are just your damage and your healing. So damage and healing, power and damage, and this is supercharge. So you can get Berserk back ASAP. And then for allies, I run Ward of Zariel. So basically, this will knock back enemies. This will give you a big might buff of 18%. And then it'll also give you defense of 10%. Very big deal. John Constantine is the GOAT when it comes to combat allies just because of the massive buff it gives you. So there's little to no reason why you shouldn't be carrying Constantine on most of your builds, but especially for battle tank, at least for my build. And then I do Walk It Off, which is very popular, but it is a big deal. It gives you supercharge back, a large amount of supercharge, 15% back for using a supercharge. No cooldown, no restrictions. Just use the supercharge, you get 15% of it back. Very big deal, very big ally. Level it up as much as you can, especially if you're doing this build. And then we have Frozen Heart. This definitely rewards you if you use a lot of supercharges. So I'm using Berserk a lot, so this will give me constant damage over time ticks because I'm using Berserk constantly. So for 5k, which Berserk is, you get 10 seconds of just constant damage over time. And it runs off of your CR. So, but it does very good consistent damage over time. It's free damage for just using a supercharge. Very big deal. So I run, like I said, Mr. Freeze here, Flash, and then we have Constantine. So how do I spec now, right? How do I spec? Well, let's take a look. So we'll first take a look at my loadout. My loadout is Relentless Anger. I use it on both bars because when I swap between the two, I like it to be seamless. So sometimes I'll swap onto this bar quicker, and it'll activate another power below here and kind of mess it up. So I just run Relentless Anger on both of these. But I basically clip Relentless Anger into Severe Punishment, into Ire, into Berserk. This is all one swipe across my keys. And then I just do 3 or 4 sets of Aquatic Arsenal, and then I cancel, and halfway into this cancel I clip it into Relentless Anger, and then I use Hope Wave, and then the last tick of Hope Wave, I clip all 3 of these, and then if this guy's up, I'll use it. Or sometimes this guy will already be up. I'll do the 3 combos into Hope Wave, clip into Bounty Hunt, and then I'll do 1 swipe across the board to get all these, and then I'll go back into hitting all this, doing this. Sometimes Relentless Anger isn't up all the time, so I'll just swipe these guys, and then I'll go straight into Aquatic Arsenal. If this guy's not up in time, it's okay. You can just swipe right across, go right into Aquatic Arsenal. That's how I do it. I'll show you how I do it on some of the testing dummies, but we're just kind of going over the basics here. You'll see how it works out. So let's take a look here. So we got weapons. So I do brawling. I just do the initial one just so that I can carry the weapon. You don't need to spec into anything else. You can pretty much skip that after that. Acrobatics, I do it for the innates, only the top 2, and I spend a point in. You could throw it in any of these just so you can drop down to get to these guys. But I just do a rocket assisted glide just so you move around easier, right? Then this, and then these. And then iconic powers. You really only need Magma Vortex. You can add in Heartlight if you need another shield. I don't even need to have this, to be honest. Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need this. This was part of my old build. This was experimental build. Don't need that. You could add this possibly if you want to do more of an ad-centric build, but it's not really needed. Razor does a lot of it. Aquatic Arsenal deletes ads pretty quickly already. No real need. So you can scratch all of these. You could save yourself like 5 points from just not bothering with these. I just do the super strength because I like it. And then, yeah, just Magma Vortex is all you really need. And then stat points. So super powered. That's the way I go with this. And then critical attack chance. Critical attack damage. That's what I go into for this. I spec like a DPS more or less. And then we have might and power. You max that out. And then you split 50-50 between these guys. If you want, you could go a little heavier into dominance, or you can go a little heavier into health. I just do a 50-50 split on those. I focus on the damage aspect. Yes, this build is more focusing on the damage aspect, but you still have really good survivability with this build. Alright, let's go back here. And then what am I wearing for mods? Let's take a look at that. So I've got the absorption adapter for the hand mod. You can do the ultimate mod. I just like the extra protection there. Ultimate supercharge mod. This is a must. You must have this in the head. You need this for this build. Unending power mod. You could add the regular like base mod for the escalating might. You could do that instead. This isn't a given. You can swap out of that. Ultimate accelerated powers mod. This is very big. When you use your supercharge generator or using a shield ability, you have a 25% chance to reset the cooldown of either of those abilities. Very big. This is a big one. You need this. Power efficiency. This just makes it to where I can use I use less power because this build is very power hungry. You could use the ultimate mod, which gives you 10% or was it 15% health. You can do that. I was using that, but I swapped it out because I added the bounty hunt ability in there, and it definitely makes this build even more power hungry. So and I saw that when I put this mod in, it drastically reduced that power usage. So very big if power is going to be an issue. And I mean, I'm looking at what 1,102 skill points. So still, even with that, you're going to run into power issues because you're going through so many powers so quickly. And then legs, ultimate crit prowess mod, give or take. This is still very big, but I can understand if you skip this. It's not as crucial as the chest, the back mod and the head mod. Those are definitely big. And power channeling, this was for my old build. You can put in the other like the ultimate mod or like the max damage mod. You can use either of those, that's fine. And then feat, ultimate tumbling master. I think this gives you a shield, so this is pretty good. You know, like in the heat of the moment, if you're taking too much damage, you can just roll and get the shield. This is pretty nifty, but still, if you want to throw something else in there, you can. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the build. Oh, elite mods, both of them are might. They use both of the first ones are might. And then C, rejuvenating. Escape mod, you heal yourself when you use your group breakout. That's a pretty nifty mod. I definitely use that. This, you only can get the full effect from these mods by wearing elite gear. So first one is 2 pieces, second one is 4 pieces, third is 6 pieces, and then D mod is 8 pieces. The last one is each time you're controlled, you have a 25% chance to gain plus 5% control resistance, so it just makes it harder for you to get CC'd or anything like that. You build up an immunity after a while, basically. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the build here. So, how much? So I'll pretty much start with just like this, and then go right in. And then third one and right in there. And now sometimes when you have Razor, it is going to break combos. Just keep that in mind. So if you're like, why are my combos being broken? It's because of Razor. Hopefully something like that does get fixed, but that is the situation right now. It will break combos, including Aquatic Arsenal. But Aquatic Arsenal is so broken, like you have to have that. See, I'm going to clip right into Bounty Hunt. Right with that third combo and go right into this. Oop, forgot to clip the shield. There we go. I go between the trays so quickly that sometimes I'll miss one or two, but otherwise than that, it's nothing too crazy. So the Blue Lantern combo gives us extra supercharge because it is a supercharged generator. Very big deal. I'll kind of go over the loadout and kind of show you why I run what I run. So let's go ahead and take another quick look over here. So, Supercharge Generator. This does healing for you over time, and then you use a cancel. So that because otherwise if you don't cancel, then all of the healing comes back and you rage crash. So you want to make sure you cancel with this. This is your group breakout, like I was talking about with that one elite mod. Very big deal. This gives you immunity to control effects, and it heals you. So you get a double heal if you're using that elite immunity mod, or that elite affinity mod. This is Berserk. This is your bread and butter, like I was talking about earlier. It's a 5k supercharge. This is your bread and butter. It basically procs a number for 50% value of the damage you just did. So it's very big, and it's one of the only type of its kind in the game when it comes to supercharges, because even your pet's damage, like they will do damage next to you, and then numbers will proc off of 50% of their values of what they just did in their damage. So very big deal. Berserk is very big for Rage. It is your bread and butter. So Aquatic Arsenal, when you spam this, 50% values, number ticks are coming off because of this. And then I believe it also works off of Mr. Freeze's thing as well. Okay, let me go back to loadouts here. So here's your Rage Crash Cancel. This acts as a pull and a finisher, so this will cancel Ebon for you. So when you cancel this and do the full combo, where basically you'll get your full power back with that. Okay, so you'll see that your power bar goes back to full with that. This is your supercharge generator again. This is another supercharge generator. You can only get this with the Blue Lantern Ring augment. So gives you extra supercharge generation back. Very big for Berserk. We have Magma Vortex. This is a pull. It also increases your healing back, and it also gives you defense. Very big deal for tanks. Let me see if I could find it. Here we go. It lasts for 6 seconds. It gives you 10% defense, and it is a healing multiplier as well for your incoming healing. So Stoke Flames also does healing damage over. It does damage over time and heals you over time, and also gives you a defense buff with Fire Soul. Very big deal here. And then you get Immolation. This basically gives you a 35% damage absorption shield. Very big for Rage, because you're just taking less damage over time. And then we have Bounty Hunt. This doesn't sound like it's OP until you start to read the description, and then you figure Aquatic Arsenal into it. Your attacks, when it says your attacks, it means any base attacks. So your weapon attacks or anything that is not in the Lobo augment. It should say all base attacks have a 10% chance to place Scorpion Poison stack on the target. When a target dies or gets 3 stacks of Scorpion Poison, the mark is completed. Upon completion, the mark goes away, and you receive a hyped up buff for a duration. And you ask yourself, what's a hyped up buff? So basically, okay, so duration, 15 seconds, and you get 15% might when you're hyped up. And then you get a 7.5 precision buff, and activation is only a little more than a second. So basically, you get 15% might just for putting stacks onto a target. So with Aquatic Arsenal, it is very easy to complete that. So I've marked that target, right? 10%, 10%, 10%. I'm just 10% on those, but with Aquatic Arsenal, look at that, we completed it. Mark goes away, and you get the hyped up buff. The hyped up buff will show because it's on your hands. It's that fluttering red animation on your hands. You were hyped up. That means you have 15%. There you go. 15% might right there. And 7.5% precision. There was a bug with it, and they did fix it very quickly. So, thanks to the devs, they fixed that. So now you get the consistent 15% might for that buff. So you want to use the bounty buff as much as you can, because it's just going to make Aquatic Arsenal hit harder, and thus you're going to do a lot more damage with Berserk. But there you go, guys. That is pretty much my build. I'm going to go ahead and do a rundown and just kind of show you again how I do the whole rotation of it, and you just sit back and relax. See how easily we got the hyped up buff? It doesn't take very long to get that with Aquatic Arsenal because you're just bombarding them constantly with attacks. So that 10% adds up very quickly. So it doesn't matter if you have a lower chance than the abilities in the augment, because Aquatic Arsenal negates really that problem because you're so quick with it. And just combo abilities in general, but Aquatic Arsenal like ups the ante on that. So that is pretty much my max damage build. And here's why I'm going to say why that is. It's because I'm running Immolation that does damage to enemies, as well as like giving you damage reduction shield. But my slightly less damage version of this build is going to be this one right here. And it's just because I'm using Redirected Rage. This is a full shield, where Immolation is not a full shield. You still take damage in this, but it's reduced by 35%. This one is a full shield where no damage goes in until the shield breaks or the duration of the shield ends. And then you also gain Fervor, which means that your defense goes up by 45% while not blocking. So basically while attacking or not blocking, right? So this is definitely in a situation where you need to, where you're soloing something, or you need to turn a cog and not get interrupted, or the bosses do a lot of damage to the point to where Immolation is not practical. You run this build where you run Redirected Rage on there. That makes more sense for situations like that where you need to have the extra survivability and Immolation is just not going to cut it. So this is more of the tankier build, where the other one is more like I'm trying to get the max amount of damage and I don't mind if I take a little more damage because I can kind of handle it. This one is like I can't handle the damage. I need a better shield. You know, like I need to be able to shrug off a lot more of that damage. This one is going to be the build for you. But that's about it, guys. That's me going into depth for my Rage Battle Tank in the year 2026. Who knows what will come down the line? Maybe this build will change, but for right now, this is what I'm running. I appreciate you all for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Laters.
See you in the future.